How we doing, everyone? Right, babes, listen, this week has been crazy. Like, I had two exams. I mean, given, the more like introduction to like criminal, introduction to civil modules is easy. You only need to like pass half, multiple choice, and it's open book. However, like, why was I put under that stress? I mean, given, it's a bar course, I get it. But also at the same time, for me, I was just a bit nervous because, first of all, it's been 2 years since I've done any like academic exams. Second of all, in when I was an undergrad, I loved like criminal law. It was public, criminal, immigration, so forth. Nowadays, the knowledge is not there. Sometimes it's not even clicking. Like, I'm more confident with civil litigation. Like, if I was talking to my undergrad self, me with contract and tort, people died. Oh, but now I'm just like, yes, I know that one. Yeah, okay, allocation, election, we get it. Committal, yep, we get that, we get that. And then now you're telling me, okay, like, what's PACE 36? What's section 36 of PACE? What's COPC? Crickets. Absolute crickets. I mean, I think I'm doing well in terms of like revising under pressure on the last minute. So, I mean, that's not the best. But also at the same time, I'm just like, oh, maybe this does work. But I don't like this. I don't like this. So I'm starting like new modules this Monday. So imagine that. It's Friday. I went to the library for my exam at 10 a.m. Finished midday because it's only 2 hours. Had lunch, then went straight to like doing pupillage, research, and then now also looking at like my modules and like thinking, okay, what are the actual like BSB module? What is civil litigation and evidence? Like what does it entail? And now I had to bring like my white books, which is like actually not underneath the table. That's the criminal one, but my white books are over there behind my curtain. And I'm just like, oh, but I looked at the like the syllabus and I'm like, oh, I've done the reading. I just need to like enhance it. So I'm grateful for that. We love it. We love to see it. It's good. It's great. But we're also doing professional ethics, and I'm like, oh, this is I love it. I love it. Love a little like. So that's what's happening to me, like, academically. And obviously, Pupillage Gateway has opened. People are stressed. Yes, we are back in the trenches, guys. Starting off from new. Like, it doesn't even feel like a new year for me. I was just like, okay, cool. We celebrated that day. Back to work. Imagine, January 1. January 1, I was at Blank Street Coffee Cafe doing revision for Civlit. This holiday season did not feel a holiday season to me. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just my experience. Who knows? Who knows? It felt a bit more festive when I was listening to the holiday version of Nonsense or of Perfect Night. If you don't know what Perfect Night is, go and educate yourself. Nova Culture and stream Seraphim. Le Seraphim. Wow. My brain is out. It's like, it's currently what? 12? Can you even see it? No, you can't. It's midnight. Had a bit of drinks. Girl, I didn't know that I can drink that much gin. Who knew? Would I ever do it again? Absolutely not, babes. My tummy, like, after this holiday season, my tummy and fizzy drinks. Anyway, so that's what's happening to me academically. Mentally, this is where we are, like, we're doing, like, Lord Wolf's reform. This is, like, reformation. Like, we're moving towards Lemonade era, or maybe, no, actually, no, Renaissance era. I don't know. Well, there's something changing. And one of the books that I attributed to two books. The first book is Atomic Habits. Guys, I used to read pure fiction. Actually, my favorite book is not here. I've lent it to my friend. It's called On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Vuong. This man, that Unearthly Briefly Gorgeous is his debut novel. But before he was a novelist, he was a poet. And boy, he can do so much damage with 5 words. I'll tell you that. First pages, bawled my eyes out. Unearthly Briefly Gorgeous is equivalent to Everything Everywhere All at Once for me. For me. And that is a slay. So I was surprised when I started I bought this book like years ago. Okay, that's an exaggeration. Maybe like 2-3 years ago. And it was just like on a recommendation, but I'm just like, you know what? Let's actually like get into it. Like I've started reading more non-fiction stuff. So for example, Free for All by Dr. Gavin Francis about the derelict state of the NHS and the case against privatization. Must read. Thank you very much. Why I'm no longer talking to white people about race. Rennie Eddo-Lodge. You deserve Nobel Peace Prize for that. What else have I read that's not... Actually, I haven't read a lot of these books. It's just for decoration. I'm telling you, buying books is a hobby. Reading books is a separate hobby. Anyway, back to this. Atomic Habits by James Clear. My word, it's so innovative, but in the sense that it's not revealing you anything new or anything you haven't even thought of before. It's just organizing it and ensuring that you actually get it. Like ITGIRL girls get it. I don't know if I snapped there. Let's ask the audience. Okay, great. But this is actually really helping me. Like, serious talk, it's been helping me so much. Sorry, I'm just checking whether or not this is still recording, but it's been helping me so much in terms of like understanding where I am in terms of my personal development. I've struggled a lot, especially like with this bad boy. Yeah, I love it. This is a sign of me being wealthy. The fact that I've spent a lot of money on food. Wealth. We're saying it's wealth. Anyway, like throughout the years, I've had a lot of like goals in terms of like, let's slim down. And like when people say like, oh, well, you know, when you get a bit more active and stuff like that, you get more confidence. I think I'm good with confidence bit. Like I'm saying, like even last year I was saying like, when I slim down, it's over for all of you out here, because I'm keeping myself not slim to allow everyone else to be hot. That's the level of confidence we're working with. However, like deep down inside, in terms of like personal monologue, I'm just like, and I always like try to like put myself down kind of thing, in terms of like, oh, you haven't fit into like this shirt that you like, or this tuxedo that's been hanging in my closet for like 5 years. Boy. And also I've started developing likeness for wearing crop tops, but I've only decided that I'm going to wear crop tops when I have a V-line. So this summer, when I tell you I decided to commit to this, it's all over. It is all over. I am sorry. I'm so sorry for the person that I will become when I become active. But this book teaches you not to say like, okay, you know, let's aim for 10 kilograms deficit. No. What is more powerful and effective in terms of like reaching your goals or changing your lifestyle is changing your identity. And we're not talking about like, oh, I am no longer becoming a nerdy kid. We're gonna go for jock. We're gonna go for grandmaster chess. No, babes. No. We're moving from the identity of me, current John Lee, towards John Lee who's active. John Lee who reads books all the time. John Lee who can give you good movie recommendations. In order to move from that, it's like the more you change, the more you instill your change in your identity, the more like you're motivated to do it, because it becomes part of you. So we're no longer saying that, oh, I want 10 kg off me and we're good, because once you reach that goal, what do you do then? Go back to your old habits? Absolutely not. We're building atomic habits. And so what's going to happen is that, okay, cool. And, my goal is that I'm going to become active John Lee, and I'm giving you all of this within the first 2 chapters because I haven't read after that. Essentially, you're changing you're changing your motivation in your identity. It's like the more you say I am an active John Lee, or the more you go to the gym, or the more you run, the more you elect to be that person. I, like, for example, today, if I went for a run, I didn't. Oh, well, actually it's midnight, so this Saturday, if I decided to go for a run this morning, I'm electing to be John Lee who runs. And the more I elect towards that type of identity, the more I become that identity. And that's because there's evidence. The more you elect, that means the more you do it. It's simple maths. Democracy. James Clear. So in that sense, it's like you have, like, that knowledge is actually not, groundbreaking and stuff like that. It's just things that we have thought of before, but now we're organizing it in a certain way that it makes more sense for us. And with that, I'm able to find, like, more happiness because, like, you're no longer putting your happiness when you get to that goal. I'm not depriving myself of becoming happy until I meet that goal. I'm allowing myself to be happy every time I do something. So, for example, I went on a run today and I listened to my favorite Le Seraphim song. Love it. Life is good, and it allows you to give to have a bit more of like a positive outlook on life, and I love that. Why be miserable? Like as it says in Psalms 90:17, teach us the number of days so that we may gain a heart of wisdom. We don't have a long time, and especially now, the second book actually ties really well that it's been helping me is actually the Bible. Okay, people are scared. Trigger warnings are apparently happening. Jump scares for some of y'all. Guys, book. Wisdom. It's okay. Don't worry about it. But I've started reading this book in the Bible called Ecclesiastes, and it was more of on a whim with my best friend, and we're just thinking like, okay, cool. There's a lot of books on the Bible. Everyone probably read the Gospels: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, the brothers. Everyone has tried to read Genesis and Revelation because we love dragons and stuff like that. So we're like, okay, cool. There's like 62 books, right? Someone fact checked me on that, on the Bible. What else is there? What's a fun story like? Is Job fun? Spoiler alert. The verdict's still out there. Anyway, started reading Ecclesiastes, and essentially, it's supposed to be, it is. It's a bleak outlook on life, and it actually dawns on like very hard-hitting questions that a lot of people are asking today. Like, let me actually, I turned straight to Ecclesiastes. Hold on. I know that people want to hear. Give it. So for example, it asks a lot of like, what's the point of being full of knowledge? What's the point of like being foolish? What's the point of being rich? When all of these people, good or bad, they're all going to meet the same fate. They're all going to die. What's the point? And, I'm only halfway through the book, but it actually teaches you a lot of, like, things to be grateful about. So, for example, Ecclesiastes 9:7 says, "Go, eat your food with gladness and drink your wine with a joyful heart, for God already approved of what you do." And for me personally, what that teaches me is like, I don't always have to like second guess myself. I don't always have to doubt myself in terms of like, what if this is not God's plan? Or what if this is not good for me? For example, me pursuing becoming a barrister. Maybe like, what if I'm actually better as an actor? But, it's like, once you put effort on it, just go and do it. It says here, Ecclesiastes 9:10, "Whatever your hand finds to do, do it with all your might, for in the realm of the dead, where you are going, there is neither working, nor planning, nor knowledge, nor wisdom." One time, big time, guys. If you decide to do something and you're set to it, go. But that's this doesn't mean all things. Like, what if you decided to become a drug dealer, babes? Come on, in context, babes. And there's a lot of like other knowledge that I quite love about it. For example, Ecclesiastes 7:19, wisdom makes one wise person more powerful than 10 rulers in the city. And here you really have to understand the distinction between like wisdom and knowledge, because everyone, a lot of people is in the pursuit of knowledge, like understanding the world and so forth. But wisdom is a bit more something spiritual, something a bit more innate in terms of like, how do you morally like treat other people? How do you treat yourself? How do you treat your relationships spiritually, emotionally, physically, and so forth? Again, there's so much like value on wisdom itself. Ecclesiastes 7:12, wisdom is a shelter as money is a shelter, but the advantage of knowledge is this: wisdom preserves those who have it. And for me, I love reading the Bible again, because I'm not gonna lie to you, for a long time beforehand, I was just like, oh, this is just a chore, for me to like sanctify myself and whatnot. But now I'm just like, it's actually interesting, because it's giving you like the hard hitting kind of like questions that everyone asked 2,000 years ago, since the dawn of time until now, and probably what people will be asking in the future. Like especially now on YouTube, there's a big like stoicism movement, like for example Better Talks, Nathaniel Drew, and it's great. And as Christians, you don't just avoid them and stuff like that. God can work in mysterious ways. God can talk through people. Like for me personally, the way I was able to read back in the Bible is actually through Atomic Habits. I was like, God, you're everywhere, you love us, but I need to have my heart a bit softened. So what I'm going to ask you to do is you talk to me through something else, something that's not the Bible. And from then on, I was able to like move to the Bible and open this book that I've never read before. And I've been going to church since the dawn of time. So, it's refreshing. It's great. Love it. Would highly recommend it. So, it's free. So that's what's been happening to me kind of like up here, and also spiritually. We love that. What else is there? I started reading. Yeah, it's actually so funny because I'm reading this, and then I'm also reading this book called Damascus by Christos Theolakis, and this is, I actually don't know. It's a visceral portrait of the life of Saint Paul. We're still at Saul here, page 70 in, and I actually quite enjoy this. It's like the stories of the Bible with Saint Paul, but in a bit more like realistic, or kind of a bit more like brutish, kind of like sense. I don't know how accurate it is, but I'm enjoying it so far. Let you guys know how it goes and so forth. Anything else that I'm doing? Volunteering, doing this new society, Pupillage as well. So the reason why I'm doing this type of video, and I'm gonna aim to like do this more often, is I feel like I'm not I'm not qualified to give you guys like tips and tricks and advice in terms of pupillage and Pupillage Gateway, because first of all, it's my first time applying. Second of all, my main aim for this channel is to give you guys an insight into what barrister life is. So I think going forward, we'll have this kind of like catch up, set up, and it's going to be a bit more holistic, because you can't just take someone from one aspect. There's a lot of things going on in life that you can't control, and that's okay. It's all about how you react and how you take this experience and go forward in the future and see how you learn from it and how you adapt and how you overcome all of these things. So I'm not just going to tell you guys like how it is like in my course. I mean, there'll be like at least half of the video, but also what I'll add as well is kind of like what else, what's other positive like outlooks, or negative outlooks, or just like, life is bleak, what are we gonna do about that kind of thing. Because I think that really helps in terms of like understanding where how I react as well, in terms of like the content of the barrister course. So there's that. I'll do this kind of like series every end of the week, as well as hopefully doing a bit more kind of like prepared and polished videos later on as well. I'm organizing a lot of stuff in terms of extracurriculars, so that's why I'm mainly busy, as well as I've always thought of my YouTube channels, like, it has to be pristine, it has to look great and so forth, and I'm not really doing any of that. So this series, Unfiltered, just getting straight through it, me and my glass of water saying, babes, let's chat. The quality of this video is slightly rank. It's okay. I'm recording on my iPad and also my phone. Also, hold on, let me show you guys my phone cover. Sabrina Carpenter, yes, Miss Ma'am. She is my number one Spotify rap. And then there's a lot more people involved in my Spotify. The Seraphim, Renee Rapp is about to make a debut. Rina Sawayama has been topping the charts. The pop girlies. YouTube recommendation, Mike's Mike, one of my holy grail, to be honest. So that's that. Thank you guys for the sit down. See you next week.